Just about every college student entering their senior year dreads being asked the question, what are your plans for after graduation? Responses usually consist of sighing, eye rolling, and mumbling an, I don't know, to whoever asked. But I was never one of the people who didn't know what my plans were. In fact, I always knew. So my response was, I'm going full-time with my business, as if that was the most ordinary thing. As you can imagine, that was never the response that people expected. As a college senior, society assumes you're going to do one of two things upon obtaining that college degree. Either you're continuing your education or you're taking the 9-to-5 route. I, on the other hand, was obviously doing neither. Entrepreneurship was my passion, and it was something I was determined to pursue, although others didn't always approve. I was constantly being asked, can you make a living wage? How are you going to get health insurance? Shouldn't you get that real-world experience first? And more. I knew that these questions were coming from people who meant well, but their skepticism wasn't exactly subtle. I didn't blame them for their hesitation, though, because it made sense. The decision that I had made directly went against the societal norm of getting your college degree and working for someone else. I had to disagree with that plan. I knew the path that I wanted to take, and because of that, I was going to do it. Entrepreneurship was never a spur-of-the-moment decision for me. Since I was 6 years old, I've been entrepreneurial minded. There was a game that my sisters and I used to play called Stores, where we each pretended to own a store and buy items from each other with fake money. I became obsessed with the game and made them play it with me so much that they became sick of it. But there was something about the simulation of owning a business that really drew me in, and it all stemmed from there. It's also through the game of Stores that I became obsessed with the idea of money and hopefully making a lot of it. I vividly remember being 10 years old and sitting at my family computer to Google how to make money as a 10-year-old. You can only imagine the disappointment I felt with the search results that populated. Become a mother's helper, run a lemonade stand, ask your parents for chores. The reason why I felt so disappointed was because I wanted something more. And it's that whole feeling of wanting something more that has followed me throughout my 22 years and led me to where I am today. Entrepreneurship, I actually got my first experience with it when I was 15, as if beginning my sophomore year of high school, playing sports, spending time with family and friends, and working part-time at a coffee shop weren't enough, I started a fashion and lifestyle blog that I poured my heart and soul into for almost 4 years. Through that blog, I grew it organically, and I then had the opportunity to work with some seriously cool companies on paid partnerships. I realized that most of these companies neglected social media, and because I saw through my own experience how important it was to grow a brand through it, I wanted to do it for them. I was then opened up to the world of freelance marketing gigs, and I fell in love. At that moment, it's like a light bulb went off. For years, I knew I wanted to own a business, but I had no clue what it would be. As I took on more projects, I knew that I was going to start a marketing firm. But there were so many things that were holding me back at the time from doing so, and they all revolved around what I thought people would think of me. I'm only 18. No one's going to take me seriously. I'm only in college. I should get that experience everyone is talking about. And I'm only making a little bit of money. I should probably wait until I'm making a lot more. But these were just excuses. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized that no matter what I want to do in life, I'm always going to be able to think of an excuse that stops me from doing so. At that moment, my life shifted. I realized that I wasn't going to listen to what other people wanted me to do, and instead, I did my own thing. There were so many things that led me to starting my business, but the biggest one was my mom being diagnosed with glioblastoma, which is terminal brain cancer, during my freshman year of college. Her diagnosis made me realize that life is short, and the best time to follow your dreams is now. And I knew it's what she wanted me to do. Both of my parents have always fully believed in me. So if the two closest people to me in my life supported me and knew that I could do it, I didn't care what anyone else thought, so I did it. So, 8 months later, in September 2016, I launched my marketing firm at the age of 19. And from there, it really took off. Basically, what I had were so many different challenges that I constantly faced. The first one was being not taken seriously. So teenagers are known for scrolling through their phones all day. How was I any different? I had to feel like I was constantly proving to people that my job isn't just sitting on social media, it's so much more. People thought it was something that I did for fun or just a hobby, but it was something I got paid for, and it was a real job. So I realized that I didn't have to keep proving to people just how busy I was, or just how many clients I had, because I knew how hard I worked, and that's all that really mattered. The second challenge was getting paid what I deserved. Young age almost always equates to low pay and low experience. But in my case, I had so much more experience than what people thought. But that didn't stop them from wanting me to become their intern or pay me minimum wage for something that was worth well above that. I knew what my rates were, and I wasn't accepting anything less. I just knew I needed to align myself with the people who valued me and what I could do for their business. And I did. One of my very first clients told me she hired me because I knew 3 times more than she did at less than half her age. And that is something I'll never forget. But the biggest challenge was, without a doubt, balancing life. My weekday schedule was literally jam-packed from 4 a.m. to midnight, because being a college student is already a job of its own, and I threw basically a full-time business on top of that. I needed to accommodate going to the gym, attending school, spending time with family and friends, working, doing homework, eating, and sleeping, all within 24 hours. And my weekends were spent glued to my laptop because every single moment I had counted. One of my all-time favorite sayings is, entrepreneurs will work 80 hours a week to avoid working 40 hours a week. And I love it because I lived it. But despite the challenges that I've faced, I can confidently say that the highs of being an entrepreneur have far outweighed the lows. First, making the money I dreamed of when I was 10. I've always had the mentality of, why work hard for someone else to make hundreds of dollars per hour off of you when you can work just as hard for yourself and make that same money? And that's what kept me going. An entry-level marketing position in the Boston area, it makes anywhere between $45,000 to $50,000 a year. I made more than double that by the time I was 21. I was still in college when my business hit its first 6-figure year by the end of 2018. The mentality that I followed made it possible for me to make my own tuition payments throughout college, and made it possible for me to pay off my entire student loan debt of almost $34,000 just last Friday, less than 6 months after graduating. Coming in a close second, though, to making money is having an incredibly flexible work schedule. It's what allowed me to spend so much time with my mom up until she passed away last June. It's what allows me to run errands at random times, take a day off in the summer when I want to go to the beach, and end Fridays early after working hard all week. If something comes up last minute, it's an amazing feeling to know that I don't need to get approval from someone else to take the day off or switch things around. I just do it. But for me, the biggest benefit of being an entrepreneur is being undeniably happy. I love my office, I love my clients, I love my work schedule, and I love my life. If you ask me at any point in time how my day is or how my week is, I'll tell you it's great, and I'll mean it. It's unreal to me that I discovered at such a young age something I was passionate about, found a way to monetize it, and built my entire life around it. These past 3 years, there's so many times I've asked myself, what if I never start my business? What if I did what other people thought I should do? What if I let my fears hold me back? But truthfully, there are so many what-if questions I can ask. And instead of thinking about what could have happened, I just think about what has happened. And that involves acknowledging and appreciating the lessons I've learned along the way. And because I wish someone had shared these lessons with me in the very beginning, I'd like to share them with all of you. The first one is really thinking about how if you don't take the step out of your comfort zone, you won't achieve those great rewards. I used to be really shy, and I only stuck to what I knew. But being an entrepreneur forced me to do things that terrified me. And that involved talking to people I didn't know on the phone, making decisions that had the potential of falling through, and also giving up that steady income to hopefully chase after something much bigger. But every single nail-biting moment paid off for me, and it can for you too. If you're even thinking about taking a leap, that's an indication that you should 100% take that leap. If I had never even gone into the unknown of starting a business, there are milestones I would have never achieved and experiences I never would have found myself in if I had never done that, including standing here on this stage. The second lesson I learned is the importance of always surrounding myself with people who are smarter than me, because that's how I grow as both a business owner and a person. I have team members I've hired who know how to do things that I don't, and their skill sets are what have increased the value of my services and of my company. I have networked and built relationships with hundreds of business owners in various industries because they all can provide a unique perspective on entrepreneurship that I may have never learned on my own. And I spend hours continuing my education through courses, conferences, coaches, and more, so that I can provide only the very best results for my clients. Nobody expects you to know everything, but taking that step to continue your education through whatever it may be is what will put you that much further ahead and prove to others just how dedicated you really are. But the most important lesson I learned is that your age does not define your capabilities. My 3-year and counting journey is a testament to that. There's been so many times where I faced imposter syndrome, and I still do. Do I actually know what I'm doing? Do I really deserve to get paid for this? Do I seriously have what it takes to last as a business owner? I'm sure you've all faced similar moments of self-doubt. But really what we need to do is tune out the background noise, hush our inner critics, and go out and do what we were meant to do. You were put here to leave your mark, so go out and make it happen. Throughout these past 3 years, I've been grateful for every success, challenge, learning point, and growing pain. I've realized that's what set me back that keeps me moving forward. And it's a true statement that nothing worth having in life comes easy. It's through my story that I hope to inspire others to take that jump, just like I did. So thank you for providing me with the platform to do so.